program.
Hey family, how you doing on today? I'm so excited to talk to you. This is the Cam Hill Show, and I'm Cam Hill. On today, we have a friend of ours, All FreeMan, and we're going to be talking about the climate of America. Hey friend, how you doing, buddy?
Brother, I couldn't be better if I was twins. It would be two of them.
I love it. I love it. Let's get to talking about the climate of America. First, let people know who you are, how you got started, just a little bit, and then we're going to jump right into this climate of America here in Houston 2026 for Texas and all of America.
Well, absolutely. First of all, I want to thank you, Cam. It's an honor to be on your show. You do such good work on the show. You've had some amazing guests. That's why I'm honored that, you guys actually came to me. I didn't think I had risen to that level. I didn't. See, I hadn't thought I had risen like the Jeffersons, where I could, move on up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is. And then this topic is just, it's almost like a godsend, man. It seems like for me recently, God has just been laying everything out for me just easy. And I mean that by me being a professional stand-up comic, that the subject of at least, my presentations has been the climate of the United States and, and of course of Houston, where I'm from. So this should be, we should have a lot of fun. And if your audience is ready, tell them to put their seatbelts on.
Well, they better put their seatbelts on, my friend. We're getting started. We want to start off with we have a hot topic because we're in the races right now, right? Early voting is February the 17th through the 27th here in Texas. And we have some big Texas things that are happening. One of the ones is local. We have one of the biggest ones, Christian Menifee and Al Green. Let's talk about that. Mr. Al Green has been in office for a long period of time. And they redistricted and remapped him really out of his district.
Yeah, let me say, man, this is like a soap opera around Houston politics, man. I think Tyler Perry should be coming down here and just filming what's happening, brother. And listen, and I say that from the stand-up comedy point of view, but also from the political point of view, because I spent 12 years in the Texas House of Representatives as a consultant and assistant to whom I say was arguably one of the more powerful and effective legislators in Texas history, in Ron Wilson. So I know Al Green very well. I got great respect for Al Green. As a matter of fact, when I was, in junior high school and high school, he was one of the, persons that our principals and teachers would tell us to look up to, because he was, at that time, I believe he was a judge in the 3rd Ward, Sunnyside area. So we've known Al for a long time, man. And that race is particularly interesting because they cut him out of his district. And ironically, that was one of the districts that Ron Wilson had targeted to be created. Well, the story goes is that during the first redistricting fiasco, where the Republicans started to put the screws to us and change things, and our legislators, like I said, it should be a soap opera, because they ran away to Oklahoma. They were all in a cheap motel. It wasn't no good motel either. It was a good one, and if you got Rodney Ellis and Sophronia Thompson in the cheap motel, they making a statement, right?
You know
they,
what?
They didn't even go to the Four Seasons, but nonetheless, the guys ran away. They went to Texas, they went to Oklahoma to protest this. So, they wouldn't be there for the vote. And man, it was amazing. Remember, Willie Nelson was sending them boxes of Jack Daniels and other, Hollywood stars who supported them was behind them. So it was an exciting time. But Ron Wilson was one of the ones that did not go.
Right.
And he did not go at the time because he actually voted with the Republicans with the redistricting deal, which caused a whole big thing for Ron Wilson, especially having the reputation of being a fighter for African Americans from Sunnyside. But the situation was, in Ron's mind, was that this is a foregone conclusion. They're going to get this. So why don't we quit wasting time and get something out of it? So what he was able to arrange, and he did what a couple other African American politicians who did not go, who were not, but I'm not going to mention their names and throw them in there. But he decided that there should be another U.S. district created for Houston, and that's where Al Green's 9th district came into play. So I asked Ron about this because he had an amazing legislative career from the time he was one of the youngest state reps ever elected. He's from Sunnyside, and was always known as a fierce fighter. Coming up under the tutelage of Mickey Leland was one of his one of his guys, and then you had the fierce Craig Washington. It was a time back then that I think if we had legislators like that in Texas in the House, black legislators, we wouldn't be dealing with a lot of these things that we are now. But nonetheless, Ron fell out of favor with them. Now, he had done some amazing stuff. Listen, I went to a Ku Klux Klan with Ron Wilson. Check this out. When he was a legislator in Sunnyside. I worked his district office. And one of the things that used to happen frequently is that we would get calls from every other district, from everybody else's district about problems that they had. And they would call Ron, but they know that, he would show up and he was a fighter. Well, that was these students calling from College Station, these African-American students, and they were calling, complaining about how they were being, looked down upon. There was a lot of racism that they endured, a lot of bigotry that they endured, which seems to be the norm up there. It's like nobody really was trying to help them. So they called Ron, and Ron decided in his Sunnyside wisdom to go on the House floor and propose that the legislature hold up money from Texas A&M until they start showing some respect and deference to that 1% of African-American students who go to school there. Well, man, this caused uproar. I mean, everybody went crazy. There were, some conservative legislators who were on the fence about it. As a matter of fact, Ron and one of the legislators got in an actual fist fight inside the lounge because of it. It was that tense.
Right.
So Ron calls me at the office, Cam, and he says, Al FreeMan, me and you are two good old boys from Sunnyside. Our mothers raised us right in a Baptist church. Is that right? And I go, yeah, but Cam, I know there's something getting ready to come on. Because he set me up talking about my mama in church. You can't say no when somebody bring mama and Jesus into it.
Right.
So he says, it would be a downright embarrassment to our parents if we got invited to a party and didn't show up.
There you go.
So he gathered myself and Brother Cornell X at the time was also working in Ron's office doing some amazing community work. And also, brother, I want to get it right, Muhammad, is it Asim Muhammad? It's Robert Muhammad was the Muslim minister of Mosque 45 at the time.
Right.
So Ron chose him to go. So, of course, he brought about maybe 10 Fruit of Islam, guys with him. So here we are headed to College Station to a Ku Klux Klan rally. We're going to bust in the Ku Klux Klan rally with Ron Wilson, Cornell X, Robert Muhammad, and 10 FOI. Now, my mother said, son, I just want to pray for you before you leave, because, you know, people get hurt, you know, and, you know, people they'll shoot at you, but Ron had already kind of taken care of things on that end. They actually had the FBI in plain clothes, actually dressing like, you know, folks of the community, and then the Texas Rangers had some people there. We were in good hands. Nothing major was going to happen. Besides that, you know, we from Sunnyside. You know, we know when the bullets get ready to fly. We know what to do. You know, never mind. So we went to the rally, man, and it was. I wrote one of my best jokes off this particular incident, and as a matter of fact, my friend Dave Chappelle said it was one of the most brilliant pieces of writing that he had seen about black people going to a Ku Klux Klan rally. But the gist of the joke was, when I got there, Cam, because on the way there, you know, we was hyped, you know, we were thinking, you know, we were like, man, we probably the only black men leaders that's ever been to a Ku Klux Klan rally. I never heard of Malcolm ever going to a rally as bad as he was, or even Martin, or Medgar, you know, Jesse. Nobody actually went to a Klan rally. You know, this is going to be hot, and it's going to be easy for me to not like the type of people I'm going to see there. Because, you know, what you think of the Klan, you know, trailer park trash, you know, running down the feet of the freeway to pick up roadkill so the family can eat those four Jethro Bodine. Those kind of people. But Cam, when I got there, it wasn't those type of white people there. Now, it was the kind that lived in my integrated neighborhood with me, you know, the kind that were my suite mates and dorm mates at Sam Houston State, you know, some of those well-meaning white people who, you know, who say, hey, I don't have anything against black people, you know, but they were there. And man, were they embarrassed. I mean, Cam, they were sitting out on blankets like it was a picnic. As a matter of fact, this thing was beautiful, this Klan rally. They had Ferris wheels and dunk machines, you know, and, you know, all kind of, you know, carnival food, and people were sitting out on blankets, you know, they had topsiders on, polo shirts. These were surprisingly the people that we see now. But it was amazing. So we did. That's one of the things Ron did that was amazing. We also went and debated David Duke. Who was, you know, the leading, you know, grand dragon of the Ku Klux Klan back then. And then, of course, you know, Ron passing Martin Luther King's birthday as a state holiday was one of the things. So I say that he was one of the more effective legislators. But as a result, you know, my man lost his seat. He lost his seat, and he lost it. Whereas a lot of his colleagues, his Democratic colleagues, his you know, black people who now still occupy office went against him and made sure he got out of office. So he did. He left, and but as a result,
we're bringing people up to speed. A lot of people don't know that going to the 18th district, if you think about it, that's Barbara Jordan, Mickey Lee, Craig Washington, Sheila Jackson Lee, Sylvester Turner, and now we have Christian Menifee in that location, in that seat right now. And we don't want to leave out Erica Lee. Okay, thank her so much for just stepping in during the time, you know, after the passing of her mother. I want to bring that in. But with that being said, okay, the remapping and redistricting of that, it seemed to have happened right after Al Green put his cane up in front of Trump.
Of course. Well, it happened because of a lot of things that are happening now if you're connecting all of the dots. But it culminates in the Republicans and Donald Trump being afraid that Texas is going to flip blue. That's what it was. And if they had left the, you know, the situation like it was, it might have been a foregone conclusion, you know. So, and then, you know, the emergence, I say the emergence, it's not really emergence of Christian Menifee was, was quite amazing, man. We have a very intelligent and very capable African-American man, with some receipts and some work in that, is one of the guys that's vying for the seat, along with, the legendary Al Green.
Right.
We're in a situation, Cam, here where I see a lot of people drawing lines, and it's like they joining camps. That was some people who initially supported Christian when he ran against Amanda Edwards, another amazing viable candidate.
Right.
But now those say, oh, let's flip it over to Al Green. So, like I said, that's why when I said at the beginning, it's like a Tyler Perry sitcom, man. It's just so full of drama. But what I see, Cam, is that I see we can't lose.
Yeah.
Either one of these people is going to be significant in this 18th district. There is some validity to Al Green being established in the House and certainly taking on Trump like he need fighters like that, certainly, and Al Green should be one of the ones that's fighting. But also, a Christian Menifee, being a younger guy, we have to start looking past our mortality, I think, and start looking down the road to the future, to people who are going to be leaders of the party. And especially why we have these effective, experienced legislators like Al Green, like Rodney Ellis, like all these guys, Harold Button, who've been in there, who know the ropes, who can show the younger candidates how to do it, or younger folks how to do it, almost handing the baton to them, because then we keep the momentum going, as opposed to, dividing into camps. So I think we can't lose with this particular choice. Either one of them will do good.
I like that one. Let's jump over to the Senate seat for Texas. Let's jump right in. Jasmine Crockett, and Tallarico, they're running on the Democratic side. We have John Cornyn, and we have Paxton, and I think, Wesley Hunt on the Republican side. So what do you see out of that one, out of the Senate seat? If we turn that one. Okay.
Yes, I've been waiting for this one. First of all, I'm going to tell you from the political point of view, and then I'm going to comment on Tom's point of view when we get to Wesley Hunt. But this is an amazing race once again. This race is similar to the one that I just talked about with Al Green and Christian, is that James Tallarico is a very viable and worthy and talented legislator that we definitely should have in our democratic future as we move forward from Texas. But Jasmine Crockett is a rock star right now. She is, probably the leading African-American candidate that everybody knows about around the world. I was looking at a clip of Stephen Colbert on CBS, the talk show host, and they were talking about how CBS had pulled James Tallarico from an interview because they, exercised on them, and they got Tallarico on the deal.
Okay, looks like we lost him. We'll bring him on back. He will be right back. But he was talking about the fact that Jasmine Crockett being a rock star, and I agree with that. I like the fact that she is, and that she's one of the main people that's in there with Tallarico. Tallarico is good too. I'm not saying he's not. He's a great candidate also for the Democrats. Wesley Hunt being on the other side, as well as John Cornyn, as well as Paxton. So both of them are on that side also. We're waiting for, my producer said we're waiting for Al to come right back in. But that's a good viable one also. We have another one that's very big that is also coming up as far as the presidential election. That's 2028. Just think about that. Who would be good in that side, on that side? Who do you guys think that would be good on that side? Put in the comments and let me know who are your thoughts that would be good on that side. But going back to Texas, where we are, we're trying hopefully flip it to blue. That's the thought process that I have a lot of my people speaking about. They want it flipped to blue, and they want it to come back in. Let's see. We've got Al. Let's add him to the stage. Al, there you go. Al, we see you. Let's see. Flip on your video and let's see. I see him coming in. But like we were saying with Jasmine Crockett, she is a rock star. Okay.
Okay, I think I'm back.
Okay, click on your video.
I was saying that Jasmine is a rock. Okay, well, I was saying Jasmine is a rock star. She's a star. And this is a race that's being watched around the nation. I mean, my God, it made 2 national talk shows. Yeah. And the reason why is because if either one of these guys win this, they're going to win it, and it's going to flip Texas. That's the deal. Now, you said on the other hand, they have who is it? Wesley Hunt and Mike Paxton.
Ken Paxton.
Ken Paxton.
Yeah, Ken Paxton, and we have John Cornyn. John Cornyn is in the lead right now.
Forgive me, Mike Paxton is a friend of mine that always, let me tell you, this dude loved prison. He just stayed in prison his whole life. No, I mean, there's some people in the hood, you know, instead of going to college, they're like, I'm going to prison. But anyway, so. Okay.
But that's good.
But Ken Paxton, and then who else is it?
Ken Paxton, we've got John Cornyn, and we've got Wesley Hunt on the Republican side.
Man, what a great race, man. John Cornyn has been a stalwart in Washington, D.C. from Texas for a while now. You know, I remember seeing him at an event that I was doing some security on. And, you know, I've been around legislators for a long time. And what I got from him, just the body, and we didn't talk and have a chance to speak, but it seems like he's tired, man. Like, man, let me get out of this. And what man, you know, who had a respectable career like he did wouldn't get out right now up under Trump? Because all Trump is doing is soiling the reputation and the careers of every Republican politician who doesn't stand up against what's going on. So it would be better for him just to get out. Like, hey, let me go and get out while this stuff is crazy. But then you left with Ken Paxton, and that would be just like electing Donald Trump. So, well, in my opinion, that's just a comedy point. And then Wesley, you know, I don't know if Wesley was ready for, you know, doing now or what's already happening to him right now. It's like he's him out of the race. And I think he probably felt he was in favor with the Republicans at the time. But, you know, when it comes down to it, he still has to remember that even though he has a beautiful, lovely, and white wife and family, that he's still black. And so I don't think he has a chance. I don't think he's going to be able to pull that off. But it doesn't matter because I don't think Paxton or if it was Cornyn can beat Jasmine Crockett or James Tallarico. That's what the situation is mounted to. I even often wonder why guys like Ken Paxton would run with all the baggage that they got on them. You know, why would you even want to go through that and put your family through the ridicule that's going to happen? And Lord, if it's Jasmine Crockett, oh man, she gonna undress him like a prostitute down on Tidwell. I'm telling you, So this is a great time for politics in Texas. I tell my kids.
Let's jump in and talk about why people need to vote. We need to talk about that, Al. Why do people need to vote? They're trying to take the voters' rights. They're trying to change voters' rights. Change with the voter ID. You've got to have this and that. Let's talk about why people need to vote.
Well, it's real simple, and I see people all of the time try to decipher and figure out why people ought to vote and motivate them to vote. They shouldn't have to say anything else other than it is your right. It's a right that was given to you through a lot of tough legislation on the national level, and people actually died as a result of Black people getting the right to vote. That maybe it's because we're in an older generation, and younger generation may not really understand the significance of the civil rights era and Martin Luther King and Medgar Evers getting gunned down in his driveway because he's trying to register people to vote, and those 4 Black boys who killed, for Black people not to vote is an insult. It's a slap in the face to all our ancestors for you not to take just 30 minutes out of your day to go and pull the ballot. It doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm having they do a firearm. Right when I was talking about the vote, I think it's the Republican.
Background.
About this.
Right to vote.
Hey, but you know what? I'm gonna go outside. They can't stop us, Cam.
They can't stop you. They can't stop
you.
Yeah.
Look, they didn't. Listen, the alarm is going off at the high school across the street from me. It's the high school for law and justice.
Right.
But anyway, it's important, man, that we vote. It's important that we teach our children to be a part of the process.
Right.
It is how we get things done.
Yes.
That's how it's done. When legislators make laws, when they vote on, whether you should have financial aid in your community, whether you're going to have health care, whether your kids are going to go to an adequate school, those are the people that you are electing. So it's very important, man. I was online talking with someone about this, and we were writing a comedy joke, and the joke I wrote was that the reason why people don't vote, let's just say why Black people don't vote. Don't act like we really care about them other people. Let's just say why Black people don't vote. It's because it's an inconvenience. See, they don't value it, so it becomes an inconvenience to take that time to drive over to somewhere, have to vote. And then if you actually, want to vet the candidates and figure out who they are and what they stand for, that's a lot of extra work for Black people, man.
It does.
So
it is.
This is the solution, Cam. Check. You tell me whether you think this will be. I say we make voting convenient for Black people. We make it where it's a part of their regular life, something they will ordinarily do. They don't go out of their way. It's almost like they can't not do it. And that's why I say we should start putting voting booths in places where Black people go. Like in the liquor stores. Put them in the liquor stores, Cam, and we will have a voter turnout like none other. And also put them in Popeyes on 2-piece Tuesdays. Hey, we're going to win with a landslide, Cam. And if they put them in the weed and the smokehouses, we're going to get all the young people. See,
there you go.
Nobody wants to listen to me, Cam, on how to do things. But I'm telling you, we would have a record turnout.
That sounds good. Now, Al, what would you like to leave with the listeners? What would you like to leave with them?
Well, folks, this is an amazing time to be alive. But don't sit by the sidelines and not do nothing. I mean, get involved in your community, get involved with these candidates, you know, start a group yourself, just get motivated and get moving, man, because there's a huge change that is coming about in the United States, and we want to be a part of it. But it takes every one of you, it's not just the legislators, it's every one of you. And your smallest contribution is what we need. Let's not sleep now, Black people. Let's go.
Let's go. I appreciate you so much, Mr. L.D. Freeman. We love
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. All right, let's go, Black America.
Okay.
Let's go.